easier of two ways. Hadn't I learned by now that nothing worth doing was easy? The dogs faced forward as another gust ruffled their fur. They were silent, patient, composed, self-possessed. They were on an adventure. They were on a new trail. They were not scared. I looked at my sled and saw that it had everything we needed to survive out here. Everything I had learned in an entire lifetime was within my power. I was capable. We needed no one. I stood on the runners of my sled and looked forward. I snugged my fleece net gaiter up around my nose, and it smelled like my unbrushed teeth, raw meat, dog shit. Before us stretched some of the most lonesome country on earth. It was huge and thrilling, and we were a part of it. An understanding rippled like a current from the dogs to me and from me back to them. Without a word, they jolted forward, leaning into their harnesses as we glided into the coming night. The only witnesses to our silent transformation were the wolves who traveled wraith-like on the periphery, welcoming us in their way to a lone wildness. Part 1. Alfred. Before there was Alaska, there was Alfred. I was 18 years old and madly in love with a boy I'd never met. The first thing I loved about Alfred was his handwriting. The angular letters written by a man's hand that spelled out my name, the sign-offs in swift half-print, half-cursive, the whimsical swaying A. After 6 months of letter writing, the envelopes now came addressed to hilarious nicknames. Kristin Strawberry Thunder Night. Kristin Big Panties Night. I'd rush to the door every day when the mailman came, hoping to see a letter addressed to me from Montana, and later Washington, craving the next dispatch of a vagabond lifestyle I had never known. I was a senior in high school who lived with my siblings and my parents in the suburbs in Fort Worth, Texas. And Alfred's stories of getting drunk and crawling into manholes with his buddies, running from the cops in purple climbing shoes, competitively racing mountain bikes in the Cascades, and climbing peaks in Glacier National Park's majestic backcountry painted the picture of a life I wanted to experience. He pulled me in like a magnet. Here's what I knew of Alfred. He was 5 years older than me. He loved the Montana sky. He was Native American, his mother was Tlingit, and his father was Sioux. And he had brown hair and heavy-lidded blue-green eyes. He was self-conscious about the eczema that dappled his abdomen and about the extra weight he had gained over the winter, but confident about his sense of humor and his outdoor skills. He had tattoos that were intricate and meaningful, parts of his heritage. He had friends who let him sleep on their couch, and they had a weekly poker game. They called him Fredo. I knew all of these things even though I had never heard his voice. Some months into our correspondence, he called me from a payphone somewhere in Montana. I imagined him sitting on a sun-washed curb, chrome cable hanging stiffly down from the blue public phone box, wind shuffling long green blades of sweetgrass, mountains far in the distance, painted against a robin's egg blue sky. Semi-trucks pulled in and out of gas station pumps, bound for North Dakota or Seattle. My heart pumped hard as I strained to make sense of it. A stranger's voice. "Where are you off to next?" "I'm out of change. I'll send you a letter. I'll call again as soon as I can." After nearly a year of contact, we were in love. "I love you," he had said on one of his nightly phone calls, and I laughed in disbelief. "Say it again." "Kristin, I love you." "I love you too. I can't believe this is happening." One night after dinner, I told my parents that I planned to move to Montana to be with Alfred in May, right after I graduated from high school. This news crushed my parents. They didn't yet know that I had received a scholarship to the University of Denver, as well as admission into the prestigious Pioneer Leadership Program. I had hidden the acceptance letter in my sock drawer. How could I move to Denver when Alfred was waiting for me in Montana? We were already planning to live together in